devastating, truly devastating floods have hit the state of Nebraska. 74 cities, 65 counties in that state have declared emergencies. Joining us now is the Governor of Nebraska, Pete Ricketts. Governor, thank you for being with us on the show. I know that you toured the damage. Describe to us what you saw, please. How bad is it?
Well, this is the worst and most widespread flooding damage we've had in our state's history. As you mentioned, 65 counties out of 93, which means that over 2/3 of our counties have declared an emergency. And what we're seeing is just widespread destruction to public infrastructure, to homes, to businesses. This really is the biggest disaster as far as damage we've ever faced in our state.
So would you just listen for a moment to Agriculture Secretary Sonny Purdue? He was on the show yesterday. Listen to what he had to say about agriculture in your state. Roll tape, please.
They think there may be as many as 1 million calves lost in Nebraska. That's catastrophic, and we're going to do everything we can to help those people get back on their feet.
I'll repeat that, Governor. 1 million calves gone in Nebraska. What do you want from the federal government?
Well, right now, we filed our paperwork for the federal disaster declaration. And so we're encouraging the federal government to be able to process that as quickly as possible so we can begin tapping into those resources. Just from an agricultural standpoint, we think we've got at least $400 million in livestock losses, $440 million in crop losses. We think the public infrastructure damage is in the hundreds of millions of dollars as well. We've had over 2,000 homes, 341 businesses that we know of. These are just the initial assessments. We're still waiting for floodwaters to go down to be able to do a more detailed assessment. We know we've got 200 miles of roads, 14 state bridges, and that doesn't count any of the county roads, county bridges, U.S. highways. We know we've got tremendous damage here in our state, and so we'd like to get that federal disaster declaration as quickly as possible so we can start working on rebuilding.
Governor, I have to tell you, I think you're being left out. Not out of the money, not that, but left out of coverage. I don't think that what has happened in Nebraska has gotten the kind of coverage that it should have from the coastal elites, if you want to put it like that. I think you're being left out. What do you say?
Well, certainly it's one of the things that as I've traveled the state, I have had our citizens talk to me about why hasn't there been more national coverage. But frankly, you know, we're very independent here in Nebraska. And what we want to do is make sure that we're keeping people safe, that we're working on taking care of the people that are in need in our shelters and everything like that. And, you know, we'll work with the federal government to tap into those resources. Certainly we want people to know that we've got a very serious situation here in Nebraska. But, you know, we're used to that pioneer spirit of getting things done.
You're a good man, Governor, and we thank you very much for joining us this morning. We won't forget you, and that's a fact, sir. Thanks for being here.
Great. Thank you very much, Stuart. I appreciate it. Thanks.
Yes, sir. Thank you.